I think what he taught most importantly was that spirituality and figuring things out is part of the human experience.
Pushing us in a gentle way, but in a guiding way as well, too, that he was able to keep us motivated to keep reaching that next level.
That ability to really be himself and share with all of his students, I think really made it possible for us to bring our full selves to his class and to really practice being seen by another person as we really are.
One of the best memories that I have from France is that we were at the Louvre and it was like lunchtime. And he told us, you know, you're on your own for lunch. You need to go find lunch and you pay for lunch. And I remember like opening the door and stepping out into the French street, and it was just incredible because it was so empowering that, you know, I knew this language and I could get by in a completely different country.
And I think that's a lot of what happened on our French trip is he gave us all these French tools and all these French skills, and we got there and we had the confidence and we went out and went to the streets and talked to people and got lost and got found.
Mr. Reynolds is a lot unlike any other teacher I've ever had. He has a way of teaching that you don't really even notice that you're learning things for a while until all of a sudden he asks you to do something and it all clicks.
One of the things that I really learned from him through his example is that just the power of allowing yourself to be, you know, your full self in whatever setting you find yourself in.
He finds what's really special in everybody and then makes everybody in your class that you've been with for these 4 years see and understand that in a really great way.
And I remember him always talking about that if it's not hard, it's not worth doing.
After taking Reynolds' class, I definitely felt like I had more of an influence and more of an interest in my own education. Reynolds really made you want to learn.
And another thing that I think he stressed a lot is that everybody makes mistakes, and it's okay to make mistakes. You were not afraid to go up to the board and write something down. You were not afraid to go up to the front of the class and speak something in French.
I cannot begin to explain how much it's changed my life. I wouldn't be here at college right now if it wasn't for Mr. Reynolds. Because of him, I found my motivation to live. I found my motivation to be a good person, continue being a good person. And I carry his teachings with me every single day here at the University of Akron. Sometimes I'll sit in the student union and play my guitar, and I'll play some of the French songs that we learned.
Mr. Reynolds' class probably changed me in the sense of, like, it made me a stronger, grounded person to know who, like, I was, because he would always, like, help me, and, like, I had these deep talks with him.
I was preparing to go into academia, and I had this kind of dark night of the soul experience. I found myself during that really challenging time returning to so many of the things that he shared with me and my classmates when I was a student. And it has led me, I think, on a journey in other directions. At this moment, I'm currently in a psychotherapy training program, and I'm working as a trainee psychotherapist, and definitely find myself drawing upon a lot of the principles that he introduced me to and kind of using that as my introduction for further exploration.
Sharing his own experiences with us, it really instilled this sense of curiosity in me to go and travel and see the world and experience different things. And he did that through presentations and artwork and movies.
Well, there are definitely times when I think to myself, like, what would Mr. Reynolds do in this situation? It's just like, if I'm confronted with an obstacle, what are the ways that I can confront this peacefully?
I was trying to make it through high school without engaging in any, like, contact with anybody outside of the little bubble that I had made around myself, you know? So I didn't want to kind of expand my friend group. I felt comfortable where I was, and after Mr. Reynolds' class, I wanted nothing more than to just meet new people who could help me grow as a person, introduce me to new things, and essentially, like, end up being the person I wanted to be.
it inspired all of us to really think freely, explore that there's maybe other answers out there. It's kind of become part of my human experience, trying to search for that answer or figure out what it's all about, or just figure out what the universe is all about, how life works.
Just experiencing his presence, it really shifted my experience of school, and I think really made it possible for me to want to be there.
And he gave us the empowerment and the confidence to go for it and to do it.
He cared about his students. He was passionate about the subject matter and compassionate with all of us.
Mr. Reynolds was always very persistent in making us aware of current issues and those that are important to the youth and to people generally speaking. And I would say that it's definitely had an impact on my life.
The way that he acts is a very positive influence on me, just because if you do something wrong, he won't tell you, like, no, that's wrong, don't do that. He'll say, you should do it this way. And he gives, it's so constructive, and it kind of shapes your thinking into a way that's a lot more positive.
He really conveyed a trust and a respect for young people such as myself.
There was one time that I cheated on one of his tests, and I remember looking up for my little cheat sheet or something, and I looked directly at Mr. Reynolds, and he was looking at me, and he just gave me the saddest look, and that was the last time that I ever cheated on any test, ever. He conveyed to me more that I was only cheating myself, just in that one little look.
Very wise, wonderful human being, very dependable, stable, and someone you could always go to.
Being in class with Mr. Reynolds was definitely one of the classes that I look forward to the most on any given day. We would always do something different, something exciting, something perhaps a little unordinary.
He weaved together this awesome basket of humor and seriousness and learning, and it just created this awesome French class.
At the end of the day, there's always a really good joke.
We could go from learning our verbs, and then like 5 minutes later, we could jump into doing like these really like amazing songs, and then we would talk about the song, and then we would talk about life, and then we would talk about like how we feel about songs in our life. Through that like process, we definitely grew with each other, and it was really, really beautiful.
When we were in Reynolds class, it was more like not just a French class. It was more of like how to be a good world citizen and how to understand things and, I don't know, ask good questions and understand where you need to go and what you need to do to get there. And then you were learning French too. It was incredible.
He just understands kids better, and he just sort of sits down with them and is like, what's on your mind? And he takes the time out of his day with multiple people, just like if someone's looking sad in his class, like he'll stop them after class, like, hey, are you alright? You know, you want to sit down and talk, and I can write you a pass to your next class, and blah, blah, blah. He really, really cares.
It was a life class as much as a French class.
The perspective that he gave me was this kind of like go anywhere, do anything attitude that no matter what you want it is in life, you just got to go get it. The best class I've ever taken in my life.
Yeah.
He was absolutely, without a doubt, the best teacher I've ever had.
And as a special bonus, I thought I would sing one song that Chris taught us when we were in class. Lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, hey, samedi et dimanche, les jours de la semaine. Ooh.